guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mma Esobe. Now to start off, you're going to be using 55 inches of your crinoline. That's what you're going to be working with. And next you're going to be running with your velvet bias at these areas that I'm pointing out. So you're going to be folding it just like I'm folding it like right now. And you're going to go to your sewing machine and you run it up from left to down and the other side on both sides. So after running it, this is what it's going to be looking like. You run it in such a way that your millinery wire or heart wire can pass through it. So this is just what you're going to be achieving with this. Next is the same crinoline. You're going to be cutting out 35 inches for this one now. So the first one is 55 inches and the second one 35 inches. Now for the 35 inches, you're going to be folding the edge like this, and then you use your needle and thread just to hold that tip so that it's not going to loosen. So you hold it firmly, tighten it and knot it so that it's not going to loosen. This step is very important because you the crinolines are very fragile. Once you put scissors on it and cut it, it's easy for it to fray. Now, once you're done, cut off your excess needle and thread. And the next thing you're going to be doing is, or rather, what I'm actually doing now is just to arrange it and make sure that it's in the same line. And I'm also going to be repeating what I did on the other side, on the other tip, on this other side. So I'm making sure that it's well aligned so that when I'm sewing my velvet bias, it's not going to be looking rough. I just want to align it properly. Now I'm also repeating the same method and closing up the tip of this other side so that it won't loosen as well. Once you're done, cut off the excess needle and thread and you're going to get your velvet bias just like we did on the other one. You will run your stitch with your sewing machine from that end to the other end. Now this is what it looks like once you're done running your stitch. This is what you're trying to achieve. All right, next, what you're supposed to do now is to use your heart wire or your millinery wire. You're going to be passing it inside that area where you stitched your velvet bias. So from one end to the other end, you're going to be passing your millinery wire. So you're going to take your time and make sure you pass it in there, and you're actually going to find it easy doing this. But if you don't know how to do this, all you need to do once when you're sewing the velvet bias, you can put your millinery wire in there. But trust me, it's easy to pass it in there and bring it out. So you're going to be passing it in every corner, every place where you stitched your velvet bias. You're going to be passing your millinery wire in there. So I'm just done passing it there, and the next thing I'm going to do is to add some glue at the edge of it. I'm using my hot glue, so this step is necessary. Just use the hot glue to do this. Pass it in there and then stitch it and hold it. So what this glue does is to help stick the millinery wire in place so that it's not going to be moving out of position. So the excess one now, I'm going to be using my plier to cut it off, and then I'll repeat the same process of gluing that area with my hot glue so that it will be in place and the millinery wire will not move. So the same method I did in the other side, I'm going to be repeating it on the other side. So this is what it's going to look like after you're done putting your millinery wire inside it. Now the next thing we are going to do now is to form a gather. Now, this might be tricky watching the video, but just bear in mind that what I'm trying to achieve is to achieve like a bow tie with this thing. So what I'm going to do is bend it to the middle, the center, and pass my needle and thread, like forming a garter while I'm passing my needle and thread. Draw it and then tie it and knot it all round so that it will form a bow. Period. That's just what I'm doing. So because there is a millinery wire inside it, so it's moving, it's reshaping, it's moving around, it's not steady because of the wire. But then again, you still need that wire to hold it firm so that your bow can stand like bow like it should be. So I know it's a little bit tricky watching a bow. Just bear in mind that however you want to do it so that you can form your gathers and form a bow with this thing that we just made now. That's just it. It's as simple as that. So now, guys, if this is the first time you're bumping into my videos or bumping into my channel, please, this is the point where I'm going to ask you to please tap on the subscribe button and join the family. And in this particular channel, all I do here is make beautiful fascinators that are fascinating, different headgears, autogilly, turban, you can name them. I play with ashoki, I play with things that can you can use to make hair fascinators. So if you really want to learn more on how to make fascinators, how to do millinery works, please tap on that subscribe button and you join the family and you're welcome. Thank you very much for doing that. And I am so glad that you guys are really subscribing. I like what I'm seeing and I like all the messages that I'm getting. If you have questions, please do well. Ask me any question and I will help you out. I'll answer to the best of my knowledge. So now, guys, the next thing is for that one, which is that of the 35 inches, I'm also going to be passing my millinery wire into the place where I stitched with my velvet bias, because this particular fascinator needs to stand. So without the millinery wire, it's not going to stand. That's why you see me, putting the heart wire inside it. So now for this one, I also passed the heart wire from one side and I'm getting to the end of the other side as well. So this is what it looks like, and at the end of the day, the millinery wire just gives it that, firm. It's like the skeletal framework of this particular design. So this is what it looks like after passing it. And the next thing I'm going to be doing is to coil it. So without that millinery wire, tell me how you're going to achieve your coil. You get. So that's another thing that this millinery wire does. So basically, what I'm doing is just turn it and twist it and just form a coil. Trust me, the millinery wire inside it will respond. It will automatically respond. Now, getting to the middle, I'm going to be stitching the middle of that place down with the middle of the bow tie that I formed. I'm sorry guys that I didn't show you. I coiled the tip of both ends. So that's I didn't show in the video, but once whatever I do at the edge of this one, I did it to the middle. So I'm still using my needle and thread and I'm tacking it and holding it firmly and tacking it down and forming my okay, I've already formed my bow, but so all I'm doing is to tack the two of them together to so that it would stay firm. So once I'm done tacking and holding it firmly, I'm cutting off the excess needle and thread. And the next thing you're seeing me doing is just to arrange my um fascinator the way I want it to be. And secondly, now what I'm doing next is to use my hot glue, apply it on the Alice band where I want my fascinator to sit, and I'll give it a press hold 10 seconds, 20 seconds, depending on how fast your glue can glue. And finally, what I'm going to be doing is to use the same velvet bias I use, and I'm going to be wrapping it down, wrapping it together with the Alice band so that it would, hold in place. So this is another way of beautifying it. You can also go ahead and still use that millinery wire to wrap your Alice band first before gluing the fascinator on it. But in this particular case, the reason why I left it black is because once you're using a black Alice band on your head and you're wearing a black head, sometimes it disappears. All they see is just the fascinator on your head and they are not seeing the band holding it. Now, after wrapping it and gluing it down, I'm making sure that everything is well in place the way I want it to be, and I arranged it the way I also want it to be. My work is not yet done. You don't just leave the coiled area like that. That area that you see me holding, I'm also going to be using my needle and thread to tack it down and hold it in place. So the two areas that I'm holding, I tacked them down at the end of the day, so I didn't show it. Then next, to beautify this beautiful piece that I made, I got my feathers, cut them in zigzag form, and now I'm applying my hot glue and looking for a beautiful place where I can attach it to, and I found that spot. So that's where I'm going to be attaching these beautiful zigzag feathers that I've got. So I'm going to be attaching all three, and at the end of the day, this is the end result of this. So tell me what you think, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.